So I just kind of realized that I'm kind of making these videos for people of the future. Because, I mean, if nobody watches them or whatever now, I bet you in like 30 years, people are going to be like, whoa, this guy was like revolutionary. Like he knew things about the human race that nobody knew. It's a possibility. So I think that from now on, I am going to when I talk about who's watching, I'm just going to say people of the future, because I think when it really comes down to it, that's what's going to happen. It's like long after I'm dead, people in the future can be like, "Oh my goodness!" It's like Alan Watts now. Like Alan Watts, Alan Watts, Watts. Like when he was alive, people were like, "Yeah, this guy's cool," but now everybody's like obsessed with him. They're like, "Oh my God, Alan Watts." Same thing with Terrence McKenna. You know, uh, the mushroom guy. Like everybody now is like, "Oh my God, Terrence McKenna." It's like, dude, get off the bandwagon. Seriously, man. So, my arm. So I think that like certain people, like they latch on to these people that existed years ago. So maybe I'm just talking to people from the future right now. It is a possibility. Right now, I've been like really obsessed with time. Really obsessed with time. It's getting bad, man. I'm like starting to get really like frustrated and worried about time and like kind of like obsessed with time. And God, I fucking hate this shit, man. I always get so obsessed with time. Yes, yesterday I started like just like getting really angry because I was trying to eat food and I was worried about like food and not having enough time, and I wanted to take the 2 o'clock bus somewhere, but I'm like, no, I don't have enough time to eat, and and then they gave me OCD meds for my time issues because I'm so obsessed with time. But I took the OCD meds and they were actually quite interesting. I didn't feel like doing anything. Like anything. I didn't feel like doing anything. But yeah, I'm getting really sick of this whole time thing. And in the beginning, I conquered it by just not doing anything. Just be like, the hell with it. I'm just not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit around and be present all the time. Like I am, well, like I was just then. I wasn't present though. I was faking being present. But for people that are OCD or have OCD with time or time OCD, I don't know how many people have time OCD like I do. Like I have like really bad time OCD. So if you are a person out there that like worries a lot about something, for me it's time and food. Like I'm obsessed with. Well, I think I have body dysmorphia, and I don't know what I have, but I'm just OCD about the body and food and time. It's a really pretty bird. So yeah, so yesterday I was like really frustrated about time, and then today I'm also frustrated about time. Like I'm starting to like really like start to lose it again. It always happens. It always happens. Like as soon as I start a new schedule, I started a new schedule like 3 or 4 days ago, and like already like I'm starting to freak the hell out about time. And I'm like, when do I have time to do this? Do I have time to do that? Do I have time to do this? Do I have time to do that? And eventually what ends up happening is I start like like either punching myself in the fucking head, or I get really angry and frustrated, or I like start to have like nervous breakdowns and I start to cry, and then I just have to stop doing the new schedule completely. Usually schedules for me, they last anywhere from like 5 to 12 days sometimes they go 3 weeks before like I have like severe nervous breakdowns, and I have to write off the new schedule. And it always has to do with the fact that I try to do too much every single time. It's just like, yeah, I could do this and I could do that, and I try to live like an average fucking person. Guess what? I'm not a goddamn average person, so guess what? I can't pull that shit off. Fucking hate this shit. So fucking, I'm seriously I'm so sick of it. Like, I'm getting so sick of it. Like, why can't I leave the house every morning at 9 a.m. and come home at 5? Why? Why the fuck can't I do that? And if I have to do that, like, I have to wake up at 4:11 in the goddamn morning. And then I worry about waking up, like, and I'm paranoid and worried about waking up. You know, like, I have to wake up like super early, and then I like check this, you know, and then sometimes I wake up and I check the alarm clock, and you know, because I put a cloth over the alarm clock so I don't look at it at night when I sleep, and I start getting sleep deprivation because I'm like obsessed with time, and obsessed with sleep, and whether I'm getting like time. You know, but then I can't do certain things because I go into stages of disassociation, or I just I can't. Like, I can't include other people in, right? Like, I can't include people in. I can't do what I want to do and include other people in. Like, right now, I really love basketball, and that's all I want to do is play basketball. And like, one of my friends wrote me yesterday, and he's like, hey man, like, yo, do you want to hang out tomorrow? And I was like, are you a basketball? No, you're not a basketball. Probably not. And then he's just like, hey, you gonna be at the court? You know, maybe I could come and like shoot hoops with you. And I'm like, you would probably take away from my seriousness of the game. Like, you're not serious enough about basketball. You would probably want to talk about stuff. And all I want to do is run up and down the court and shoot threes. And like, unless you're running with me, you're getting in my way. So I would rather sacrifice my friendship with you because I want to play basketball and I'm obsessed with it. In the long run, no one matters. Like, if I'm fixated on something, no one matters. The only thing that I care about is that thing. Like, right now, it's basketball. If you're not a basketball, you're in my way. Like, I don't have time for you. And then in order to play basketball for 4 or 5 hours a day, I need to rush around doing all these other things that are not basketball. And then the time issue comes up. Obsessions. I don't know what to do with obsessions. I even become obsessed with people. Like, it's really weird. Like, my buddy, he was just in the my roommate, he just went away for a couple days, and he just came back, and you know, and I had to develop a new schedule without him. So he came back last night, and he woke up this morning, and I was spending time with him. And I was washing socks in the sink because I wash my clothes like a Thailand person. I don't use washers or dryers, machines. And I'm washing my socks in the sink, and I'm like, oh, I'm taking too much time to wash these socks because I want to, you know, focus on Brett, and Brett's probably, I'm sorry, Dr. B, and Dr. B is probably gonna think that like I don't have time for him, you know, like, or like I'm taking too long. with these socks, and he's going to start to feel like, he's going to start to feel like I'm abandoning him, or he might leave my room because like he's getting bored, because I'm spending too much time on socks, and he feels like he's not important to me. That's a big issue with us, people that have our issues, especially borderlines, because we're fear of abandonment. So if I'm focusing on socks, the person that I'm spending time with might leave me because I'm doing something other than spending time directly with them. So I always have to focus my attention on people. If I'm like washing socks, they're gonna leave me. God damn it, man. But it's like there's much worse case scenarios than that. That's just a small case scenario. It's tough being us, man. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful. So many issues, man. It will never be solved. It will never be solved. Ever. 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 You know that video I made the other day, there are no answers? There really are no fucking answers. Because you're living a half-life. We are living a half-life. And whenever we try to live a full life, we hit a brick wall. We hit a brick wall. Because our minds are like, no, I'm sorry, you can't live a full life because you're mentally deranged in so many different mechanisms and ways that you can't function high enough to live a full life. And Marshall Linehan always talks like, we want you to try to live a full life. You can live a full life. You have to say to yourself, this time it will be different. This time it will be different. That's like dialectical behavior therapy. That's Marshall Linehan. But guess what? This time it might be different. You could, but like it's just like the same things happen. The same things keep on happening. The same issues keep coming back up. The obsessions, the worrying, the fixations, the OCD, the abandonment issues, all of it. Losing, loss, losing people. And then we don't want to be around people, and then we miss people because we're lonely again, and then we don't want to be around people, and then we miss people because we're lonely again.